can you read these two sentences?
저는 아나예요.
And the
아나.
next one?
제가 아나예요.
Anna is just name Anna, A-N-A.
아,
So the first one is I am Anna, and then the second one is also I am Anna. However, the subject is we use the 는, and here we use ka. So the difference between ika is if the subject ends in vowel, we use ka, and if the subject ends in final consonant, we use i. And then, so when I say we always say 저는 or 제가. 저는 or 제가. We never say 저은 or 제이. Like we never say like this. And one more. 저 is I, but when we use with the subject marker 가, it changes into 제가. 제가. Instead of 저가, it changes into 제 or 제가. But only for the 저 and then 저 means I. And informal we say no. In case of no, we say it changes into 내가 instead of 너가. But only for this word. So the other words just it doesn't change. The subject doesn't change. And subject 가. 두, 제, 네. Anyway, here 저는, 제가, those means I. 아나예요, 아나예요, same. I am Anna, I am Anna, right?
is there one way that's more common amongst native speakers? Probably the second one?
No. Here the situation is different.
Mm.
So that's why I'm about to explain the difference. Don't worry about it. The first one, 저는 아나예요, I highlight here, right? And then next one, 제가 아나예요, I highlight here. And then when we use the subject marker 는, or some books they say topic marker, we use like which means the descriptive part is highlighted, and when we use the subject marker e or ga, the subject part is highlighted. So the situation is like, let's say we are in the first class. So I want you to introduce yourself. So someone says, "Oh, I am Jordan. I am Tom. I'm like Rosario. I am Maria," like this. And then there's one girl. She introduced herself. "I am Anna." And then, but we already know she's talking about herself, right? Because this is self-introduction time. But we don't know her name since it's our first class. So here, the important information is 아나예요, right? 아나예요 is important. That's the information that we want to know, and that's the information that speaker want to talk about. So here, which part is important? Like, how can we know which part is important? It's speaker's decision. So when speaker want to emphasize the descriptive part, in this case, we use the subject marker 은 or 는. However, the second case, 제가 아나요, is like I'm checking the attendance list. So I'm calling the name one by one. Jordan, Thomas, like Rosario, Anna. Oh, who is Anna? Where is Anna? And then there is one girl. She raised her hand. Oh, I am Anna. In this case, we already know that we are talking about Anna, right? Because I already called the name Anna, but I don't know who is Anna. So some girls like they raise like one girl she raised her hand and I am Anna. In this case, it's me. I am Anna. The subject part I is important. Then Anna is not important anymore because we are already talking about Anna. So that's why the subject part is highlighted. Then we use 제가 with subject marker ka or i. And then that's the other case. Second one, 크리스탈은, can you read?
크리스탈은 타고, this is the one I struggle with.
타코를.
I'll be able to say it one day. 먹어요. So you're eating tacos?
크리스탈은 타코를 먹어요. Next one.
타코를 크리스탈이, I was reading ahead of myself. 타코를 먹어요.
크리스탈이 타코를 먹어요. So here, as you can see, even though we use the subject marker 이 or 가, we don't change the subject. So only 제 is exception. Exceptionally, we change 저 into 제 when we use subject marker 가, but the other now we don't change. And so in two sentences, the only difference is the and 이. And then the translation is exactly same. However, it's also same. Here the situation is different. 크리스탈은 타코를 먹어요. In this case, 타코를 먹어요. This part is important. So the question would be, what is Crystal doing? And then we want to know what she's doing. Then 크리스탈이 타코를 먹어요. 타코를 먹어요. The part is important that we want to know. hmm However, like let's say now it's 2 a.m. It's dark already, and then but I just heard the sound like like the sound. So like what the heck? Like who is eating right now? Like this is 2 p.m. Like 2 a.m. Sorry, 2 a.m. Like who's eating? And then someone said, "Oh, 크리스탈이 타코를 먹어요. It's Crystal. Like she's very hungry."
Oh.
So we already know someone is eating, but we want to know who is doing. So in this case, we use the subject marker 이 뭘까? 크리스탈 이 타코를 먹어요. The subject is important. Mhm. But I want to say this is main difference. Like there are more case. Like for instance, when we compare something, we use 있는, like those things, like more definition. However, now we're gonna focus on the main principal difference. Okay, so principal difference is 있는. We're gonna focus on the descriptive part, but 이가 we're gonna focus on the subject part. So the descriptive part, like you can say the topic part. So some books they say 있는 is topic marker and 이가 is subject marker. Mhm.
Mm.
But here I call like all fours are for subject marker because their main function is indicate the noun is subject of the sentence. So that's why I call like all four subject marker. But then especially the topic is important, 이가 is subject is important.
Mhm.
But anyway, all four you can use after noun, after noun of subject.
Mm.
Mhm. So here, like as 이가 or the subject marker and are attached to the noun to indicate the noun is subject of the sentence. So this is the main function of 있는 and 이가 over subject marker. We attach after the subject noun. And grammatical function is to indicate mark this is subject on the sentence.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's the main difference and function of subject marker. Okay. So far, do you have any questions?
No, I think it'll just take practice for me doing it.
Uh-huh. Okay. So today we're gonna learn the present verb conjugation. Present verb conjugation, we have four rules. Four rules. However, don't worry about it. Like past verb conjugation, we will apply only one rule, and then the future verb conjugation will apply to two rules. Depends on final consonant. So if you just once you dominate like present verb conjugation, the others is quite easy. Uh-huh. So present verb conjugation, rule number one. Before we start, every infinitive verb, every Korean infinitive verb ends in 다, 다. And if we remove 다, it's verb root. So the present verb conjugation rule from 1 to 4, it depends on which vowel or which final consonant ends in. So the first one is when the verb root ends in vowel we attach 요, 요.
Mm.
For instance, the verb 가다, 가다, the infinitive verb is 가다 because it ends in 다. And so if we remove 다, ka is verb root. And the verb root ends in vowel right? In this case, we attach 요 for the present verb. 가요. So for instance, 가다 is to go, but 가요 is I go, you go, we go, let's go. Present verb depends on your intonation. You can use as just statement or the imperative or suggestion as well. So let's go as also 가요. Or if you are really angry, like just go away, 가요 also 가요 like this. And just normal she goes 가요. Mhm. So and also here the important thing is just with verb, you cannot guess what is subject, right? Because with
Mhm.
the Korean verb, it doesn't change depending on subject. Okay, the next one, 사다, 사다. Yeah, again, the verb, infinitive verb ends in 다, and the verb root 사 ends in vowel 아. So we attach 요, 사다, 사요. 사다, 사요. And next one, 싸다, 싸다. It's to be cheap, and sayo is cheap. Even though we don't know the subject, but we don't say to people like you are cheap like this. So it's gonna be it's cheap. So the pronunciation, the number two is 사다. It's like smoothly 사다. It's like smile 사다, and 사다. It's like normal normal as sound word. It pronounced like sada. So especially the Spanish word, like its sound is very strong, right? Sada. So this is sada, sada. Mm-hmm. And then number four, 비싸다. Here, 비 means not. So it's like not to be cheap. So means to be expensive. 비싸다. And oh, it's expensive. 비싸요. 비싸요. Mhm. Here as well, if we remove 다, 비싸 as verb root, and then the last syllable is important. Always the last syllable fact. So here again, 싸 and then vowel 아, so we attach 요. 비싸요. 타다, 타요. 만나다, 만나요. Mhm. So far, do you have any questions?
No.
This verb is very useful. So 타요, 타다, 타요. So whenever you say like take a taxi, take a bus, take a subway, you can use this verb 타요. For instance, 버스, 버스를 타요. This is object marker. We're gonna learn later. 버스를 타요, or is 택시를 타요, etc. 괜찮아요?
음,
Okay. So here is example. Mhm. Can uh can you read this one?
사요?
The first one, 싸요, is from the verb 싸다, which means to be cheap, right? So
음,
it's part of one conversion. So he's promoting something like, oh, this is cheap, 싸요. Mhm.
음,
싸요. Uh-huh. So in conversation, we have to use the verb, like present conjugated verb. And then next one, can you read?
솔 있어? 솔 있어 많아요?
서울에서 만나요. 서울, 서울에서 in 만나요 as the verb 만나다 to meet. So it's
음,
like let's meet in Seoul.
음,
서울에서 만나요. Uh, and then the present verb conjugation rule two. Rule two. Mhm. Present verb conjugation rule two. We have three cases. Three case. First one is if the verb root ends in vowel a but in final consonant. Which means in first case, the verb ends in vowel a, but as you can see, there is no final consonant. But here, the verb root ends in vowel a, but the final consonant. And then, for instance, this one, 살다, 살다. If we remove that, it's verb root, and 살 ends in vowel a, but with final consonant, right? In this case, we attach 아요 instead of 요. 아요. So it's not 살요, it's 살아요, 살아요. Or ends in 우, 우. Number three and number four, as you can see, the verb root ends in vowel 우, 우. In this case, we attach 아요, 아요. And however, it's not exception, but just you can make it short. The sound 와요, 와, 와요. 보아요, 와, 봐요. 와요 and 봐요.
음.
Mhm. Or number two, 좋다, 좋다. It's ends in vowel o, but with final consonant. So ends in vowel o with final consonant. For instance, this one ends in vowel o, but with final consonant. In this case, we attach 아요, 좋아요, 좋아요. And the pronunciation is like when this final consonant sound meet this d sound, it changes into t sound. T sound. This is always troublemaker, right? So
Mhm.
most in case it change the sound stronger. So it's like t sound. However, when this sound meet sound, the circle line like this one doesn't have sound, right? In this case, it disappear, it cancel out the sound. So we pronounce 좋아요, 좋아요.
음.
So this one 좋다, this one 좋아요, 좋아요. So here's the example. Can you read this one?
Gatti? Is that right?
Here, this one also. Here today we learn a lot of like how to say irregular, like kind of
음,
exception pronunciation. This one we pronounce 같이,
같이.
같이. We pronounce 같이. Uh-huh. 같이 살아요. 같이 means together.
Mm.
And there is one pronunciation rule, but it doesn't have that much taste. So just remember this one. Even though there is no two sound, but it pronounced two sound. 같이, 같이 살아요. 음? 살아, 음.
So let's sing together?
살아요, the verb 살다 is live.
No, live together. Live
Uh-huh.
together.
So let's live together. Or we live together. Okay. And next one, can you read?
살이 좋아요.
BTS 사이 좋아요. 사이 is relations and 좋아요 is good. So like the relation between BTS, like among BTS is good. 사이 좋아요.
음,
Okay. 안 와요. Here
알아요.
안 means not, not, and 와요 is from the verb 오다 to come. So 안 와요 is like don't you come?
음,
Because it's question mark, so don't you come? Mm.
음,
And then here, next one.
봐요.
또 봐요. 또
또
봐요.
봐요.
Yeah. 또 means again. 봐요 is see you. Like 봐요 is from the verb 보다. 보다 is to see, to watch. So 또 봐요 is see you again. Again, see you. 또
음.
봐요. For instance, here 다음에 또 봐요. 다음에 또 봐요. 다음에 is next time. 또 again. 봐요, see you. So see you again next time.
I was about to say, I know that phrase. That's one
음.
phrase I know.
And or like 5분, 5분 is 5 minutes. 뒤에
음,
is after. 봐요, see you. So whenever we have break,
음,
we'll say 5분 뒤에 봐요, see you in 5 minutes. Then the next one, present verb conjugation, rule 3. Rule 3. So remember rule one is if the verb ends in vowel a but without final consonant. Rule two is if the verb root ends in vowel a but final consonant or o with final consonant per case. And then rule three is if the verb ends in other vowels. In this case, we attach 어요, 어요. For instance, the verb 먹다, 먹다 is to eat, and the verb root is 먹. 먹 doesn't end in a nor o. In this case, we attach 어요, 어요. So we pronounce 먹어요 because this final
음,
consonant carry over. 먹어요, 먹어요. Next one, 쉬다. 쉬다 is to take a rest. 쉬. It doesn't end in a nor o. So 쉬어요, 쉬어요. Like take a rest. For instance, like if you're very tired, then I can say, 쉬어요, 쉬어요. Take a rest. 쉬어요.
음,
Mhm. Next one, 있다, 있다. 있다, it's really, really common verb. It's really very useful verb, which means to be, exist, or have. Depends on the situation. And then the present verb is 있어요. I pronounce 있어요.
음,
있어요. Mhm. And then 없다, 없다 as the opposite verb. To be not exist, or not have. 없다. For instance, here number 5, 맛있다. 맛있다 is combination verb of 맛 plus 있다. 맛 means flavor or taste, and
음,
있다 is this verb. Number 3. So 맛있다 is to have flavor, so it's to be delicious. And the present verb is 맛있어요. 맛있어요. When we combine the verb with the noun, we don't change the noun. Only the conjugation will apply to verb part. So 맛있다, 맛있어요, which means it's delicious. 맛있어요. Mhm. And then this one we pronounce 맛있어요 because the carryover,
음.
final consonant sound. However, exceptionally, like 맛없다, 맛없어요, we carry over not the original sound but the sound 맛없어요, 맛없어요.
음,
Uh-huh. That's quite exception, so just remember this one, 맛없어요, which means it's not good, like it doesn't have flavor, so it's bad.
음,
맛없어요, 맛있어요, 맛없어요. Mhm. Okay, and next one is also combination of 재미 plus 있다. 재미 is fun, so 재미있다 is to have fun, so it's to be fun. 재밌어요. It's very interesting, it's fun. 재밌어요. And then the verb 싫다. also it pronounced like 싫다, like 좋다. When this 흡, final consonant meet this one, it pronounced t. So it's same 싫다, 좋다, 싫다. 싫다 means to be bad. 싫어요 is it's bad, or like sometimes it means like I hate it, like this.
음,
Mm-hmm. 싫다, 싫어요. Oh, I don't like it, like this. Mm-hmm. And then, so to be bad or to hate. 배우다, 배우다 is to learn. And 배우 is a verb root. In this case, we attach 어요, 어요, 배우어요. And 우어, we can make it short. So it's 배워요,
음,
배워요. It's I learned. For instance, if you want to say I learned Korean, 한국어를 배워요. Here,
음,
is object marker. So we will learn object marker soon. 한국어를 배워요. 괜찮아요?
네.
Okay, so here is the example. Oh, here 같이 again. We pronounce 같이, right?
음,
정국이랑 같이 밥 먹어요. Here his name is 정국, and 이랑 means with or and, with or and. So here is
음,
with 정국, 같이 is together. 밥 means rice. 먹어요 is eat, right? So it's like
음,
you like eat with Jungkook together like this. And
음,
here 밥, even though 밥 means rice, but rice is our principal meal. So it just when you say 밥 먹어요, it doesn't only mean the rice, but it's just food in general. So even though you eat
어,
pasta, but you can use 밥 먹어요 like this.
어,
Just meal in general. 밥 먹어요. Have a meal. Mhm. 정국이랑 같이 밥 먹어요. For instance, if you want to suggest, like let's have a meal together, like with me. 저랑, 저 is I, right? 저는, 저.
음,
So with me, 저랑 같이 밥 먹어요. You can suggest like this. 저랑 같이 밥 먹어요. or
음,
저랑 같이 가요. Go with me. 저랑 같이 가요. Like this.
음,
Here in Jungkook, the name of Jungkook ends in final consonant. In this case, we use 이랑, and if it doesn't have final consonant, we use 랑, 랑.
음,
So it's 저랑. Here, 괜찮아요?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay, and then this one, 김치가 맛있어요. 김치가 맛있어요. 김치 is delicious, right? 김치가 맛있어요. And 경기도에서 쉬어요. 경기도에서 쉬어요. 경기도 is province. It's the Seoul and there's province 경기도 around
음,
Seoul. 에서 is in 경기도에서 in 경기 province 쉬어요. Take a rest. 쉬어요. 괜찮아요?
음,
Okay. 네, 여기 present verb conjugation rule 4. So, if the verb ends in 하다, change into 해요. 해요. So in English, we have a lot of combination verb, do plus noun. Do laundry, do grocery
음,
shopping, do homework. In Korean as well, we have a verb 하다, like noun plus 하다. Noun plus 하다. And as we just saw, like 맛있다, we don't change the part of noun, we change only the part of verb 하다 into 해요. So
음,
하다, 해요, 일하다. Here, 일 is work, but noun work. And 일하다 is the verb to work. 일해요. I work, we work. That is 일해요. And 공부하다, 공부 is study, but noun study. And 공부하다 is do study, so it's verb to study. And 공부해요 is present tense. I study, you study, we study, etc. So in English, 일하다 is just one verb, 공부하다 is one verb. However, in Korean, 일 is part of noun, 하다 is the verb.
음,
Okay, 공부 is part of noun, and 하다 is verb. So it's combination verb. 말하다 as well. It's to talk, to speak, but 말 is word.
음,
말하다 is do word, so it's to speak, to talk. 말해요, the present tense. 숙제 is homework. 숙제하다 is do homework. 숙제해요. 전화 is call. 전화하다 is the verb to call. 전화해요. So as you can see, the part of noun, it doesn't change. Just we change the 하다 into 해요. 하다 해요, 하다 해요, 하다 해요, 하다 해요.
Mm.
And then number 7, 좋아하다. 좋아하다. We pronounce 좋아하다 because it's combination of 그 sound and the circle. In this case, 좋아 is not noun. However, it's also in ends in 하다, so we change only 해요. 해요. Actually, here 좋아 is from the 좋다 좋아요 from there, but anyway, it's combination verb, so 좋아하다 좋아해요. Change just 하다 해요. And 생각하다, we pronounce 생각하다, 생각하다. Because this 그 sound plus 흐 sound, it changed into 크 sound, stronger. 그 sound. 생각하다, 생각해요. 생각 is thought. 생각하다 is to think, the verb. 생각해요 is I think, you think, we think, like this. 생각해요. 괜찮아요?
네.
Okay. So, here, can you read the subtitle? 2번 주말에 뭐 해요?
주말에 뭐 해요?
2번 주말에 carry over. So 2번 주말에 뭐 해요? E is this, 번 is time, 주 is week, 말 is end. So 2번 주말 is this weekend. 에 is time marker. So like in this weekend, 뭐 is what, 해요 is from the verb 하다. So what do you do on this weekend? 이번 주말에 뭐 해요? If you take a rest, 쉬어요. Like this. If you work, 일해요. So with present verb, now you can start a conversation. 뭐 해요? 일해요. 뭐 가요. Or 먹어요. 쉬어요. Like this. And instead of 이번 주말에, you can use 내일, 오늘. 내일 is tomorrow. 오늘 is today. So 내일 뭐 해요? What are you doing tomorrow? 오늘 뭐 해요? What are you doing today? Like this. In case of 내일 or 오늘, we don't use the time marker 에. So it's not 내일 에, it's just independently 내일 뭐 해요? 오늘 뭐 해요? This one we're gonna use in the time marker section. So 이번 주말에 뭐 해요? And then, for instance, here, can you read? 지금
어디예요?
지금 어디예요? 지금 is right now. 어디 is where. 예요 as the verb 이에요, 예요. Remember, like the verb 이다, to be, 이에요 or 예요. So 지금 어디에 is where are you now? 지금 어디에요? So she's crying and she's looking for you. Where are you now? Maybe I miss you right now. I will go there. 지금 어디에요? And then with this expression 어디에요, you can ask, for instance, 화장실. Your 화장실 is toilet, restroom. So you can ask 화장실 어디에요? Where is toilet? 화장실 어디에요? Where is restroom? And next one, 어디? Can you read?
어디 가요?
오빠.
오빠.
오빠 is the older brother. 어디 가요? 어디 is where. 가요 is the verb go. So where are you going? Where do you go? 어디 가요? And then next one.
I don't know.
얼마예요? Good. 얼마 is how much. 예요 is the verb. The same. 이에요, 예요 as be verb. 얼마예요? How much is it? 얼마예요? And then here the second line. 첫사랑. 첫사랑이 언제예요? 언제예요? 첫 is first, 사랑 is love. So 첫사랑 is first love. 언제 is when. 예요 is the verb same. So when is your first love? 첫사랑이 언제예요? For instance, here 생일 is your birthday. 생일이 언제예요? That's when is your birthday. 생일이 언제예요? Okay. And next one. 어떻게요? 어떻게요? Here we pronounce 어떻게요 like this. 어떻게 is how. So it's asking about like the way or method. 어떻게요? So it's like how is it? How do I do it like this? And where is why. So if It's the same. If you want to
음,
say informal, it's 왜, why, and formal, 왜요,
음,
왜요, 왜요. 괜찮아요?
네.
Okay, so far, do you have any questions?
No, I think I'm keeping up.
괜찮아요? So today we're gonna review the past tense. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I told you if you already dominate the present tense, in the past tense will be really easy because
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna apply just one rule. Remember, the present tense we have four rules, like
Mm-hmm.
depending on which vowel or which consonant ends or the verb with 하다, like this. However, the past verb you don't have to worry about this. We will apply only one rule, which is here's the rule. The sentence ending yo form first remove yo but in present tense. In present tense. This is important. This is why I
Mm-hmm.
told you like you have to review the present tense first before we learn past tense because we're gonna conjugate from present tense. Mhm. For instance, let's quickly review the verb 하다, 먹다, 살다, 사다, 만들다, 일하다, 공부하다. Can
Mm-hmm.
you conjugate the present tense?
Gada is 가요.
가요,
Uh, 먹다 is 먹어요.
먹어요,
사다 is 살아요.
살아요, good.
사다 is 사요.
아요, good.
만들다 is 만들해요.
만들어요,
Sorry,
만들어요.
만들어요.
Mhm. And
만들어요.
일하다,
일하다 is 일해요.
일해요, 공부하다,
공부해요.
공부해요. Good. Here, to change into past tense, it's really easy. First, let's remove all yo here. Yo, and yo, and we're gonna add this suffix as final. Yeah, this suffix, and it'll be 갔어요,
했어요.
갔어요. And same, be 먹었어요, 먹었어요. Same, 어요, 살았어요. Same, 샀어요. And it'll be 만들었어요.
만들었어요.
아하, 일했어요.
일했어요.
아하, 공부했어요.
공부했어요.
아하. So, 가다, 가요, 갔어요. 먹다, 먹어요, 먹었어요. 살다, 살아요, 살았어요. 사다, 사요, 샀어요. 만들다, 만들어요, 만들었어요. 일하다, 일해요, 일했어요. 공부하다, 공부해요, 공부했어요.
네.
괜찮아요? Yeah, this is all for the past tense and sentence ending yo form.
Mm-hmm.
So past tense of yo form is very easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.